it's me, Renee. I'm back. And as you can see, this is another great news Monday. So I was thinking like what I'm gonna do for this video. Was also thinking like maybe I'm gonna skip it, but I kinda want to do this one, so I'm doing it and it's been a while. So yeah. If you've been there before, you know what it entails. If not, every few weeks I do like a smallish, depends on what I'm talking about, but like we do want to talk about great news that I've heard lately. So it could be movie related, TV related, could be book related, or what have you. Just things that excite me. And yeah, and today, like when I started making this list, it wasn't really on purpose, but more or less all of today's news is British related, so that's interesting. Well, interesting, not like interesting, like the British never make good things, but like yeah, randomly became kind of a theme. And at first, I just had news, four news, but I thought like, I don't know, I want something symmetrical. I mean, either I'm gonna cut one to make it three because I mean you usually have top three or top five or whatnot, or I could like add one, and instead of adding one, I added two. But what I've done kind of with the fifth point, well, fifth and fourth, but yeah, the fifth point, well, fifth and fourth is kind of like I talk about some books. So yeah, so I suppose so the two books that are kind of in the same area, and like one okay, so the fourth is a book that's announced, but it's not coming out in March, and the fifth is books that are out in March. So yeah, just so you know that. So firstly, the first point I have is something I suppose slightly controversial, kind of seems, but my initial thought was just happiness. So I suppose could go either way. But yeah. So Fawlty Towers is getting a reboot. Fawlty Towers is, I would say, sitcom classic. It is a TV series that John Cleese wrote. Originally, it had two seasons. It was out in the 80s, I want to say. Yeah, it was an 80s TV series. No, 60s? No, 80s. You know what? I'm going to double check when it came out in the 70s. So it wasn't the 80s, it wasn't the 60s. So in between those? Yeah, 75. So it's this sitcom that's based around D&D that John Cleese uh, once used while he was touring with the Martin Fighting Peeps. And he just encountered this just very bizarrely, just very weird. It was weird because the proprietor, no, the owner, he was not like he didn't like the customers at all. Which I mean, if you have a bed and breakfast, or like if you work in a bookstore, if you work in a store or like um a hotel, someplace, I mean, you should like customers somewhat. To not like customers or not want to help them, that kind of seems like that's kind of unfortunate, and kind of like that would hinder you in doing your best job, really. So yeah, it's just a very fun sitcom about like the customers, the customers, the guests at the bed and breakfast, and the workers there. You have Manuel, who's from Barcelona, and then you have his wife, and then you have the chef. Well, the chef comes in second season, but still. And yeah, I suppose yes, when I was young, it was going on reruns. It was never like for the first time for me, but I was watching on reruns when I was young. Sorry, when I was a kid. I'm not gonna say like when I was young because that wouldn't say I'm old now, and I'm not gonna claim to be old. I wouldn't really say I'm old. I'm not gonna label myself old, really. But yeah, so yeah, Fawlty Towers, it had two seasons in the 70s, and now John Cleese has decided to make more. It's been a long time since he made them, so it was this kind of interesting why it's going back to this, was so kind of why not? Because it's a very successful TV series. It had in a lot of countries and whatnot. But yeah, it's also gotten some like some backlash because I mean, usually recently, John Cleese has said some unfortunate things, and people are saying like people, young people, yeah, some like Gen Zs have been watching Fawlty Towers for the first time and haven't really understood like why it's good. So I suppose going back to it, I suppose it's a double-edged sword. It could be good, could be bad. I suppose that's something that could happen every time you do something. It's never like you're never guaranteed success, really. But yeah, my initial thought was more 40 hours. Yes, cool. And yeah, I suppose I won't be like saying it'll be bad before you've seen a before you've seen a trailer or before you heard anything like a plot or anything like that. I mean, we don't really know that much about the plot now, right now. But we do know that it's going to be about Basil, who's the um, proprietor or the owner of the hotel, and his daughter, who he didn't really know he had. Like he has a daughter, so he's gonna run a hotel with his daughter. I suppose we're not sure it's the same hotel. Probably would think probably would be the same hotel. Maybe it's a different hotel, a different place. I suppose you could still like you could have a different place because the hotel is called Fawlty Towers, so that's kind of why the series is called Fawlty Towers. But yeah, we don't really know that much, and yeah, honestly, right now, I'm kind of excited. I suppose it could be bad, but right now we don't know that much. Like, I wouldn't say we know so much about it that would make me be hesitant to see it. So right now, I'm happy. So yeah, it's the first exciting news for me at least. And then on Friday, there's a Red Nose Day thing in the UK. In case you don't know what Red Nose Day is, it's kind of a yearly charity thing where the people in the UK they have this like theme around Red Nose Day. So I think it's Save the Children, might be wrong, but I think it's Save the Children who's kind of behind it. So like every year they have like a Red Nose Day where uh, they do like different charity stuff, and there's usually some comedians and TV stations, some people like that do like one shots for Red Nose Day. Red Nose Day, it was what gave us the Love Actually again, like the Love Actually sequel that was like around, I think it was like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I think maybe 15 minutes like in the US because they had like another scene. So yeah, we had that one that came out a few years ago, and then we also had the uh, For Weddings and a Funeral kind of sequel. And yeah, this year we're getting Ulrich. Ulrich has a little sketch. He has a little scene, which yes, Ulrich. I suppose in case you don't know, Ulrich's a character from Blackadder, which is another one of my favorite TV series from my childhood. So yeah, seeing Baldric again, yeah, excited, so excited. Though right now I think we only know it's Baldric, so I suppose like is Baldric just gonna like I suppose is Tony Robinson just gonna do a skit with himself, or is it gonna be with Hugh Laurie and anyone else from like well, the Baldric days, the Blackadder days, or like I don't know. I suppose Baldric be myself could also be fun. I suppose like maybe he's interviewed for some people. It could be fun. And yeah, Baldric, very, very fun. So yes, very excited for that. I kind of actually gonna tease this, but I kind of actually decided to do a little red nose day with of myself in a way. So yeah, that's that really. And then we also got the title for the last, sadly, the last in the First Year Murder Club series, the book series. It's called The Last One to Die, which kind of seems a bit dramatic, but I suppose I think we already knew. I think it was been hinted at that the last book. I think Richard Osman said that the last book would have someone like important die. I believe it said that in interviews, or I might have made it up. I think he said that, but at least like this title kind of gives you this punch, like the last one to die. I'm not sorry. I think it's the first to die. It's called the first to die or last die. You know what? Um, uh, Thursday. Oh, yeah. I got a bit wrong, but it's called The Last Devil to Die. So it's not the last one to die, but Last Devil to Die. I suppose maybe it has like a US name that's called The Last One to Die. For some reason, I was so sure it was like the last one to die and the first one to die. Anyway, yeah, The Last Devil to Die, which is still quite a good title, I would say. And yeah, have I read the third book yet? No, I haven't. But yeah, and also like the fourth book is coming out in the fall, so I have time to read it before then. And yeah, it's gonna be bittersweet because I love this series. But I suppose all good things must come to an end. And yeah, so yeah, kind of fun to have that title reveal there, I would say. And then I suppose I did say at the beginning of the video that was just the fourth and fifth item that would be bookletted. Having a title of a book being announced, which I just told you, is also book related. So I suppose the latter part of this video is book related. Yeah, you understand that. So yeah. And then up next we have Bookends and Bone Dust, which is a prequel that was just announced. Legend of Lathace, which I have not finished yet. I have started, have not finished it, but I have not DNF'd it. I just haven't finished it. It's on pause. But yeah, Bookends and Bone Dust. Yeah, it's set in a bookstore. It's the same set in the same world. It's coming out in November this year, and yes, very excited. We already have a title and a cover, and I think we have a summary, but might be wrong there. But you know that it's a prequel set before Legends and Others. So yeah, excited for that. Quite excited for that. And then the last books that I kind of figured out today. So I kind of Googled like books coming out in March that's kind of UK related because the first kind of items were British related, so I kind of wanted to follow the theme. And yeah, I ended up finding a few books. Um, those was yeah, I'm not quite sure if this is all these are British related. I don't really know why. But yeah, anyway, I have two more books. I suppose in a way, can you say that all books are British related? No, you can't really say that because if a book is set in the US and it's a US author, then it's not UK related. Well, I suppose. Anyway, we don't really want to go too far into that, but yeah. So the one of the books is The Renaissance of Gwen Hathaway by Ashley Schumacher. So it's a contemporary YA story. And yeah, the summary I'll give you to it now. Since her mother's death, Madeline Gwen Hathaway has been determined that nothing in her life will ever change again. That's why she keeps extensive lists in journals, has had only one friend since childhood, and looks forward to the monotony of working the Ren Fair circuit with her father. So yeah, it's set around the Ren Fair, which yeah, sounds fun. And then of course she gets kind of forced a friendship with a guy who kind of wants to be a friend, and I think there might be romance there as well, or might not be. But yeah, that just sounds very cool. So yeah, and that one's out March 14th, so tomorrow. And then we have Midnight Strikes by Shiba Shazans. In this explosive fantasy debut with a time loop twist. Yeah, gotta have some time travel, time shenanigans. Give it to me. A provincial girl must work with a roguish prince to stop an attack on a royal family and escape a nightmare's curse that forces them to relive the same night again and again. I love curses. I love time loops and time shenanigans. And yeah, this one just sounds so good. So yeah, definitely here for it. I'm not quite sure when it's out, but it's gonna be out around March because I googled March books. So yeah, and that's kind of it for today. Though I suppose if you're watching this and you know something else that's happening, like yeah, for the rest of March, I suppose also in April, that's British related. Like if there's a new British movie or a new British TV series or a fun a fun like British like book coming out, whatnot. If you have one in mind, please talk to me in the comments. As always, talk to me in the comments if you want to. You don't have to. And yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.